Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For anybody that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news in the space. I update myself and I bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's in the chat and then we'll get into this. I lost power and my Go XLR was tweaking out on me, so I had to fix it. If there's any glitches, just let me know in the chat, by the way. I would appreciate it. Mr. Backwards Miner, good to see you. We have Black Hat Team, Chris Hanley, Carl Coate, Sloth Squatch, my man Andrew Masad. We have Overboard Tech in the house. Let's see, all for you miners. Solar Miner, Mustard Mountain Mining. It is so hard to say fast. Appreciate you for being here, man. Dan R, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Let's see, Patrick Murphy. Yeah, it's rainy AF. Patrick's pretty close to me. Yeah, I must have lost power. My generator was going like all night. It woke me up at like 5 this morning. It was terrible. Let's see, Mr. Mike R, good to see you, buddy. Carl Coate, Pellish Miner. I might have already said Carl Coate, but anyways, appreciate you all. Let's get into this, see what we're looking like, and then yeah, go from there. If you guys have any questions, at me in the chat. Let's see, Morning Mr. Numbface. Listen, Crypto KJ, shut it. All right, we have BTC $71,045. Look at that. Hell yeah. Perfect. We got Ethereum 3534. What do you guys think, man? We're looking really strong. We have 7 days or 8 days almost until the halving, depending on what things look like. But man, it is looking fantastic right now. BNB is at 623. We have BCH at $600, 603 bucks to be exact. We have Dogecoin at 19 cents. Let's see, LTC is at 97 bucks. Caspa's at 14.4. Nice. Look at that. Look at that. Let's see, ADA 58 cents, XRP at 60 cents. We have Solana at 172 bucks. Man, everything's looking really good. Nothing really jumping out at me. I don't know what vet is, but that's up to 5 cents. And Conflux, this is Conflux, 35 cents. Nice. Look at that. Nice. All right, let's move on. Let's see, Crypto Bubbles, the biggest earner on the day. Let's see, well, biggest loser of the day seems to be Bitensor or Bittensor, however you're supposed to say it, ranked 31st at 609 bucks. We have Crow up 6.6% today at 15 cents. We have BTT, BitTorrent, up 10.3% today. Conflux up 5.5%, 35 cents, like we just said. Pendle down 8.2%. Jupiter is down 4.6%. Near is down 3.6%. We have Vet, which is down 6.1. That's VeChain. Ondo down, sorry, up 4.3. Did I just say it was down 6.1? It's up 6.1 on VeChain. Sorry. Fetch AI is down 3.4%. Looking pretty decent. Everything's kind of floating along nicely. WIF is down 4.8%, which is still shocking. It has this big of a market cap, but is what it is. Let's see, how did you like the little guy's video? Oh, it was all right. Perilous Miner, I got that. Thank you for sending that over. All right, let's check out Fear and Greed Index. Flashbang, apologize, 79 over here on the Extreme Greed. Looking pretty good. You guys know, don't worry about it till it's over 75, but I mean, I feel like we're just going to be stuck over 75 for the next upcoming months. It's going to be crazy. It really is. All right, let's see, top 10 coins over here by coin market cap over on CoinGecko, looking like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, XRP, Lido Staked, Ether, USDC, Dogecoin, and Toncoin. Toncoin's in 10th place, and it still surprises me that it's actually up in 10th place. Crazy, $25 billion market cap. We have Cardano in 11th. Again, I've said it for like 3 weeks straight. Cardano, I think, is an easy 6x at some point. Again, 2017 bull run, 2021 bull run. We got 2024 is coming and higher lows, so could be an easy 6x. All-time high was $3.09 and it's only at 58 cents. Do what you will, not financial advice, but I'm DCAing slowly into Cardano because I think it's a decent play. It's been a top 10 coin for a while, or at least top 20 coin for a while, right? So that's pretty good. Let's see, Crypto KJ, Cedra Boner candle, thanks to upcoming MEXC listing Monday. Yeah, you know what, Cedra I heard was doing that. Let's see, Cedra coin SDR, damn, 49.4% up. Nice. Look at that. Is that going to be more profitable to mine than Caspa again? That would be pretty interesting. What's the yeah, but see, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, you look at it, it's like, oh shit, didn't mean to do that. Uh-oh. Look on the max, hold on. Go back to that. Like this is the candle right here. That rose the ship, right? And it really, overall, looking at it, it's disgustingly bad chart. It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. All right, let's scroll down through this. Litecoin 20th place, looking pretty good. Internet Computer, I don't know if anybody's into ICP. $7 billion market cap. Uniswap's going through some bullshit. Actually, the SEC is threatening to sue, I guess, or I don't know what they're doing. Actually, we're gonna hear about that in a minute, but looks like they have a $6.8 billion market cap. Took a little bit of a shit with the news of that. We have Ethereum Classic, $33.40. I think Ethereum Classic's going to pump with the ETFs. Once the Ethereum ETF comes to fruition, I think that this will take a nice climb with it just because of the name. Realistically, I mean, it is the original Ethereum, but it has nothing to do with the ETF. So I think it's going to do a decent jump. Let's see. Hedera is one of those ones that I've been getting some, and man, it's at 9 cents now, huh? Might have to grab some more of that today, because this is I don't know much about it, but I heard it's going to do good things, so I guess we'll have to see. Render is down to 8.94. Not too bad, actually. This thing was up at over 11 bucks or something at one point, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check out the all-time high. Oh my god, was that 13.53 according to CoinGecko? Damn, it's down 33%. Render is going to be one of those coins I think is going to pop too on the in the bull run. I think it's going to do very well. Very well. It's like an AI rendering service, right? If I'm not mistaken. All right, let's scroll down. Let's see, how's Caspa looking. Caspa's looking pretty good. 14.38. Looks like we're looks like we broke out of the descending wedge, right? And it looks like it's retesting, and hopefully we start popping up. We'll see. We will see what happens, I guess. What do you guys think about Caspa? Anybody? Andrew Massad's ICP for the win. Nice. All right, let's move on to the mining segment of things. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. You guys know I like to timestamp this stuff so we can come back a year from now and see what we're looking like. We have the KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit making 133 bucks a day. We have the Antminer KS5 20 terahash unit making $126 a day. We got the AL box. This is the Lithium box miner from Gold Shell, the $15,000 box miner, $110 a day. Bruh. I don't know if I would spend $15,000 on this thing, but it does kill it, and the wattage is 180 watts. Like, that's sick. You know, that's like the best thing for somebody like me in my situation with a high electric rate. That's fantastic, right? The wattage thing alone is fantastic, but I ain't spending no 15k on it, I can tell you that. That's just crazy. We have the Ice River KS5L 12 terahash unit making $72 a day. We got the BMKS Max 11 terahash unit making $62.18. The Windminer K9 10.3 terahash unit making $61.08. Sorry. And that's the 10.3 terahash. I said that kind of weird. The 9.4 terahash unit making $54.57. The KS3 8.3 terahash unit making $47.95. The KS3 from Ice River 8 terahash unit making 45 bucks, and the KS3M 6 terahash making $32 a day. Let's see. The K7's been actually killing it lately. The 63.5 terahash unit making 25 bucks a day. Nice, not too bad. The K7 58 terahash unit making $23.63 a day. Pretty good. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. The L7, my unit's been killing it down at Terra Hosting. Absolutely love it. 10 cents kilowatt hour down there if you guys are interested. Links are in the description. $17.75 a day. That's so freaking good for a unit that's like 3 years old. It's crazy. And this is profit after 10 cents kilowatt hour. It's crazy. Blows my mind. All right, where is my S19K? Where are you? Where are you? Right here. S19K Pro 120 terahash unit, still profiting the most on Digibyte, making $8.39 a day. I've been saying it for like a week and a half. I need to switch, and I still haven't. I do need to get into Foreman and mess with this thing. But if you guys, anybody that's mining Bitcoin, yes, the halving is going to affect you guys, right? But at the end of the day, these Bitcoin miners are SHA-256 miners, and if you want to stay profitable, you can switch the algo to Digibyte or Bitcoin Cash, right? I'm not fully sure why this is like this. These are zero. I don't fully understand these two coins, but anyways, yeah, BCH could carry us through because obviously this is going to be cut in half, right? Depending on where the price of Bitcoin is, obviously, and the difficulty and all that. But regardless, you should still have 2 other coins to swap to if you guys want to make a quick buck while we're waiting for things to settle out for Bitcoin. So just keep that in mind. Bitcoin miners aren't just Bitcoin miners. We have the Ice River KS2 2 terahash unit making $10.52 a day. The KS1 1 terahash unit making $5.26 a day. Bruh. That is terrible. That is terrible. Oh my god. Oh my gross. What the hell is this? Bayacal? How do you say this? Bayacal? I don't even know how to say that. Giant A900. What is this? What is BCD? What is this thing? Is this an FPGA or something? What the hell's BCD? I know what CBD is, not BCD. What is happening? What is happening? What is that? I've never seen that one before in my life. All right, let's see. We have the Gold Shell KA box, 1.18 terahash unit, 400 watts. This thing's going for over 2K. It's making about $7 a day. The efficiency on this thing's pretty good, but nah, not for me. Not for me. Can't do it. The X4Q, let's see, making $3 a day. Mining this Canixum coin, if that's how you say that. Not even sure. CAU, we'll say. Let's see, the X16Q. I got this thing going to unminable, mining ETC actually. Let's see what's looks like ETHW and ZIL. $8.14. Oh my god. That is the fucking noise I hate. That is the noise I hate, and it's clearly just the Jazz miner. I am sorry if I just blew your eardrums, because I blew mine too. Oh my god. Apparently it's just the Jazz miners. When you click into those, that's bad. Oh my gosh, they need to fix that. That's awful. Let's see, Mr. Mining to Fill My Bags. I love that name. That name is awesome. Dude, thank you so much for becoming a VIP. You're awesome. So I'm mining ETC on this thing. I guess it's the 5th thing down on the list. $66.70 a day. Could be worse. Octaspace, actually. You know what? Octaspace is going through a halving real soon. Real quick, we'll get into GPUs and then we'll get into the halving cycle list real quick. All right, most profitable thing on GTU. Man, I can't speak today. GPUs, Ironfish and Caspa Classic looks to be top of the charts for the 4090. We have Ironfish and HTN. Is that Who's Hat? Is that what that one is? We have Ironfish and Graham as well. Looks like Ironfish and other things are really top of the charts. BTG for the 7900 XT. Able on the 3090. Ravencoin on the 3090 Ti. That's so weird to me to see a core intensive algorithm on a 3090 Ti. It's so weird to me, but hey, shout out to Ravencoin if it's doing all right. I don't know. I sold out at like 5 cents the other day. Oh, maybe it was 4 cents. I forget. I got out of it. I was sick of holding it. Clore, the 170HX and Ravencoin. Not too bad. Xano on the 3070 Ti laptop. Who's mining on a laptop? Please don't do that. You're probably going to burn it up. It's going to melt. Just saying. Just saying. 3090 still on a lithium. Tonto Bong Ronto. Nice, man. Nice. Scott Sheffield, is my jaw still hurt? No. Yeah, I couldn't stream yesterday because I had to go get a crown on my tooth before my insurance was like out of network or some shit. So the only time they had was 8 a.m. exactly the same time I stream. And yeah, it was pretty rough. Pretty rough going to the dentist. You know how that goes. All right, let's see. We have mining pool stats.stream. Let's go to the events calendar real quick. Looks like Isotope C rather, ISO is 11 hours from now going through a halving. We have Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, which is BSV, going through a halving in 29 hours. Radiant is going through a halving 7 days, 50,000 to a 25,000 block reward. And then Bitcoin, as you can see, the tried and true, 8 days from now, 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.125 for the halving. Octaspace is shortly after that, and then we have Pyron in 39 days and Kevacoin, whatever that is. Oh, Ethereum Classic is going through a 5th inning as well. Look at that. But Octaspace, I think, is also a 5th inning. That's what it looks like anyways, or close to that. 13 days from now. So if anybody's got that, I guess, yeah, that's that. All right, let's see. Any new coins on the list today? I don't even know how to say that. Osmium, is that how you say that? X11 algo. All right, I guess 3 days ago. Not too bad. If you guys are gonna download any new wallets or any new anything from these sites, once you get off miningpoolstats.stream, it's freaking on you, so just be careful. Well, let's see what this is. Driving blockchain innovation. Osmium, that's how you say that. Osmium was born from a very simple idea to promote and reward talent in the blockchain space. It is our goal to drive innovation and to give back what we create to the entire crypto community. We shall create a unique ecosystem that will have the capability to identify and fund innovative projects that can help the entire blockchain space. So that explained absolutely nothing to me. Thank you for that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Each his own. Do what you will. Do what you will. Just showing you guys that. Mr. Dan R, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Hey chump, what do you think of the Avalon Nano 3 Bitcoin miner? Avalon Nano 3, what is that? What is that? Is that the is that little what's it called? Little solo miner there? Is that what you're talking about? I think that thing's pretty cool if that's what you're talking about. I'll Google it in a minute and we'll look at it. All right, let's move on to the news segment of things. Dan R, thank you so much for $5 super chat. You didn't have to do that, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, Bloomberg Technology, Coinbase's Shirzad, I don't even know if I say that. Industry needs to grow in the US. Let's see what they got to see over here on Bloomberg Technology. Guys, that like button, appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Let's start with the suit or the revival of the suit last week and just get your immediate response to it.
Well, the suit you're talking about is a private action that has gone up to appeals and will go back to the trial court. We did quite well at the trial level. There are a couple of issues the appellate court has sent back, and so we look forward to going back to the district court and settling those out. But the big issue is the litigation involving the SEC, and we feel quite good about where we are. We were able to get one of the major pillars of the SEC's case against us knocked out at a very early stage in the trial. We're going to go to discovery.
Yes.
And we look forward to that process.
We're going to talk about your relationship with DC and the regulatory pathway, but one thing we've reflected on Bloomberg Technology in the last year is that...
I love him screaming like that. It's so funny. And yeah, that's the unit you guys are talking about, right? This thing? Right here. I'm pretty sure Panda did a video on it. Or if he didn't, he's going to, I think. But I mean, dude, for $100, why not? Why not? It's worth it, right? This little thing, right? Pretty sure that's what you're talking about. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut him off.
In your industry, we continue to regulate through lawsuits.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's a fair statement? And in the context of both the consumer suit and the SEC, that's what's happening still.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, in the end of the day, as a company, our goal is to get regulatory clarity. So if that's through lawsuits or otherwise, we'll take it. But the right way to regulate, particularly if the U.S. is going to be a leader in digital asset technology, is for Congress and the administration to do what they say they want to do, which is to create comprehensive federal frameworks around crypto markets and around stablecoin issuance. I think we can do it on a bipartisan basis, and we hope our letter is encouraging of that to happen.
You've written this letter to Schumer and others, McConnell and others. Why?
Well, we have a shared objective with Treasury and law enforcement, which is to get at bad actors that are in the crypto space. So there are specific powers that Treasury should have. They've asked Congress for, and we're supportive of. But we also want to remind everyone that the big picture is that we need the industry to grow in the United States, reflecting U.S. values and under U.S. laws. And the bigger the U.S. industry is, and the more comprehensive it is in terms of defining crypto globally, the better it is for American national security.
What the lawsuits we discussed and this initiative with DC have in common is you're trying to make everyone feel better that the ghosts of your industry are behind you. Let's be honest, Sam Bankman-Fried was a big story of the last week, his sentencing. Do you feel like, I mean, that's your job. Are you making any progress in convincing a wide range of people that this is a cleaner industry that is making progress?
Well, absolutely. I mean, remember, much of the bad actions that we saw, FTX, Binance, others, were largely offshore. So I think for a lot of people, it surprises them that the degree to which there is a dividing line between the U.S. industry and those offshore who avoid stringent regulation. But in the end of the day, you know, 52 million Americans who have bought crypto. The American people have voted with their feet and their pocketbooks that they want to help update the system by participating in the crypto economy. and regulations need to keep up with them. And I think there's a bit of a gap sometimes between policymakers and the public. And I think once people begin to see how many Americans have participated, I think they'll understand it's time to act.
We've carried some committee hearings on this program, and we're aware of some lawmakers' thoughts on your industry. If there is one area of lingering concern, it's about the use of crypto, which is a broad term now, in illicit finance.
Real quick, thank you, Mr. Caveman Mining, for the $4.99 super chat. Starting chump change 2024 dental fund. I don't need a dental fund, but thank you very much.
Finance, or white collar crime. How much progress are you making with getting DC on board to work together on that front?
Well, I think Deputy Secretary Adeyemo said it well, that the traditional financial sector is by far the larger threat to illicit activity. That's where most of the illicit activity occurs. I think they look at crypto as an area of potential future emergence as a center of illicit activity. Any amount of bad actions in crypto is too much. And companies like ours follow all the same rules that traditional finance does. Our Bank Secrecy Act regulated and so on. And so I think those who know that the industry in the U.S. is a good actor.
It's clear what you want, but we have this House Financial Services Committee piece of legislation that Patrick McHenry is trying to get through. No traction there. Why is there no traction, really?
Look, it's rare for Congress to pass bills through two different committees with strong bipartisan votes, and that's what we have. So, yeah, I think, look, getting any legislation done, funding the government, funding the wars, all of that's going to be hard to do. But if you take a step back and realize that you've got Democrats and Republicans who've come together who understand we need digital assets in the United States and they voted for it, I think that's exciting.
All right, shout out to Bloomberg Technology for that. Let's move on to Bloomberg Television. Bitcoin Bull sees 100,000 milestone with the halving ahead. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Let's get into it. Guys, the like button. I hate asking what YouTube makes me.
We're seeing a lot of kind of continued traction that's coming into the market because of the upcoming halving that's happening in April. And we already saw an uptick in Bitcoin pricing because of the introduction of the spot ETF earlier this year, which drove the price close to almost like over 70,000. So we can honestly expect, with the decrease of supply that's now coming into the market for Bitcoin, on top of that very outpaced demand, that we can actually expect over 100K in pricing by end of year.
Wow, end of year. And Tom, we're kind of on our...
Why are them Bitcoins looking so weird? What the hell? Why did they flip those over?
Our way there today.
That's
we're
so
up 4%. Bitcoin is 72,100. So back up to those rarefied
Can we have a
levels.
moment of silence for Michael McGlone?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's down there on the deck at the Bethany, whatever it is, the hotel.
He might be at the Delano. He might rate the Delano.
Yeah, he's like huge.
Yep. So I mean, he's been calling it. So, Victoria, aside from Bitcoin, because I still can't get Jamie Dimon to, give it the stamp of approval, although he is all into AI. So on the AI front, which is a subject of Jamie Dimon's, or partly subject in Jamie Dimon's letter today, NVIDIA, is that still the way for investors to play AI, or are there other ways? How do you guys think about that?
I think that NVIDIA is definitely the way to pay through AI. If we're thinking about what has to go into these AI language learning models, there's also there's high computing and graphic processing that's necessary in order to create these large processing models. But also, to pivot back to Bitcoin, it's also a necessity when it comes to Bitcoin mining. So we're going to see a huge uptick in the demand for NVIDIA GPU chips as well, which are top of the line when it comes to mining, but also top of the line when it comes to graphic processing and also informational processing, which is absolutely critical when it comes to AI. So NVIDIA is the #1 player, and I'm so sorry for everyone who keeps trying to short it. I can't find a reason for it to go down.
Okay, I wanted Paul to ask another
We're trying here.
I wanted Paul to ask
She's not wrong. Look at this guy's headset.
another intelligent question here, because I can't do it. But you go to the heart of the matter. Victoria Bills is saying, forget about the value trap, forget about straw hats and winter, climb on board the winners. Discuss that strategy.
It's simple as what we're seeing in the future of Web3 going into Web4, the necessity around AI in terms of increased productivity, and how that plays into, again, all of the large processes that are coming into the market these days, or more of the innovative technologies. What is required to process AI, what is required to actually create these systems is large sets of computing process and data. So when we think about the players that are ahead of the game and the players that are actually benefiting from getting into this space very early on, that's how NVIDIA was able to make themselves a player. And then even with super smart computer. Sorry, I was blanking on the name. Super smart computer.
Super small computers. That's cute. Yeah,
yeah.
That's good.
Super small computer.
It does look like a hearing test headphone.
As well. They have been a leader in the game when it comes to just that data information processing. Now, some of the drawbacks to that, of course, is what's going to happen when it comes to climate change. It's a lot of energy that it takes to, again, process all of this.
All right. Shout out to Bloomberg for that. All right, let's move on. CNBC Crypto World. Bitcoin rebounds above $70,000, and Uniswap says SEC warned of potential lawsuit. Terrible.
Eat shit, Gary.
That's what we think about that. All right, guys, let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin jumps as high as $71,000. Uniswap says the SEC is about to sue the DeFi platform, and Swan's Steven Lupka explains how spot Bitcoin ETFs and the upcoming halving are driving Bitcoin's price action.
That's going to be terrible. Are you guys in DeFi? Let me know.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Crypto prices in the green today despite hot inflation data released yesterday, which pushed the market's expectations for rate cuts to September. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin traded just under $70,000, although the cryptocurrency rose as high as $71,000 overnight. Ether rose slightly to the $3,500 level, and Solana jumped more than 3% to $173. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. DeFi platform Uniswap says it received a Wells notice from the SEC. In a blog post yesterday, Uniswap said the U.S. regulator had sent a letter warning of an impending lawsuit. A Wells notice gives the recipient of the letter a chance to respond and explain why legal action is unwarranted. That's called a Wells submission. Uniswap said in the post that its legal team was taking on the fight with the regulator, and in the meantime, all of its products would continue to be available. Uniswap said it doesn't operate an unregistered exchange and that its token is not a security. It also pointed to the SEC's partial loss in court in its lawsuit against Ripple, along with its ongoing legal battle against Coinbase, as evidence that the agency doesn't have jurisdiction over the platform. Now, we reached out to the SEC, and the agency said it doesn't comment on the existence or non-existence of a possible investigation. Next, we're starting to get a clearer picture of how much money Wall Street's biggest players are spending on spot Bitcoin ETFs. By law, asset managers with more than $100 million under management are required to disclose their holdings once a quarter. Those first filings since the launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs back in January are now hitting the SEC's website. Among those who disclosed their holdings, Park Avenue Securities, a New York-based firm with nearly $10 billion in assets under management. Park Avenue held more than $450,000 in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust at the end of last quarter. Now, these filings are just starting to trickle in. We're awaiting 13Fs from some of Wall Street's biggest names, which could come as late as mid-May. All right, for our main story, I spoke with Steven Lupka, Swan Bitcoin's managing director and head of private clients, about adoption of those ETFs, how inflation and interest rate expectations are affecting crypto markets, and that Wells notice Uniswap received. So Wall Street institutions like Park Avenue Securities bought into spot Bitcoin ETFs in the first quarter. That's according to SEC 13F filings released this week. And of course, those products just launched here in the U.S. in January. Now, you run the private wealth team at a brokerage firm that serves high net worth investors. So I'm wondering, are you also seeing demand from your clients for these new products?
Real quick, Mr. Hawk Crypto Mining, good morning. You see this? See the plants in the background? You're doing it wrong. You need this much plant in the background.
Yeah, so it's been record months, like literal all-time records for us over the last quarter. Best quarter, best month, multiple best months. So we've seen a huge uptick in demand from high net worth investors, family offices, like small and medium businesses, and a lot of retirement asset demand, which is interesting because that's for, we sell spot Bitcoin, the actual coins rather than like ETF shares. And a lot of demand from retirement investors for the actual coins, even though they
It sure does say boss. Tonto Bongranto.
now could buy the ETF. So it's been a record few months. We've been very busy, but it's a great problem to have in this industry. You build for a long time waiting for moments like that.
So Bitcoin was trading back above $70,000 this morning, brushing off inflation data released yesterday, which showed consumer prices rose more than expected last month. The sign of lingering inflation pushed the market's expectations for rate cuts back to September, which could be bad news, of course, for crypto. So why do you think Bitcoin was trading higher, even with the hot inflation data in the mix? How do you explain that?
Yeah, so, there's a few angles there. I'll touch on a few points. One is that I think what the market is waking up to. So let's say business as usual, the last 20, 30 years, rates go down, stocks go up. Rates go up, stocks go down. That's the common perception. But markets are actually operating a little differently, right? We've had very high rates relative to the last decade, and the stock market's been on a tear for the last year. Now, why is that? The reason is because the debt, the federal deficit, the debt is so high. Whenever rates go up, it increases the interest payments on that debt. What are those interest payments except dollars, which are being created from thin air to pay holders of treasury bonds? So actually, as interest rates rise, it's another form of money printing. It's another form of an inflationary force. And that's why I don't envy the position Jerome Powell finds himself in, because if he raises rates, that's inflationary. And if he lowers rates, that's also inflationary. And I think the market has been a little slow in parts to fully internalize this new reality. But either path the Fed takes is going to result in more dollars being issued into financial markets, which improves liquidity and drives up asset prices. So I think in part, like Bitcoin and the market is realizing that. And the other story is that I think Bitcoin is just specifically in a very strong position relative to other assets. Like I said, this ETF wave is far from done. Demand is high. People want to own this asset. The flows are supporting it. So even if you saw some contraction in the S&P and in equities, you could see Bitcoin continue to do very well. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
And of course, the widely anticipated Bitcoin halving is expected to happen next week. The key technical event has historically set the stage for Bitcoin's next bull cycle, as the halving cuts the number of new Bitcoin entering the network each day, which means tighter supply. What do you expect will happen to price post-halving this time around?
Yeah, so I think it's important to understand that what the halving does is it reduces the amount of Bitcoin which is being paid to miners by about 450 Bitcoin per day. That's equivalent at current prices to around $30 million that miners don't have to sell to cover costs. So you can think of it as a $30 million a day at current prices reduction in sell pressure.
That's crazy. $30 million a day. Ugh.
That's obviously bullish for price. Now, is anything going to happen the day of the halving? Because of this supply reduction, I don't think so. Like, not mechanically. Maybe traders decide to trade it and the price goes up or down or whatever. But over the next 2 or 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, I think you start to see the price impact of that supply reduction start to boost price. And you combine that with the ETF inflows, you've got a great setup there. I'm personally quite bullish on Bitcoin's price performance for this year. I think we end the year a lot higher. And I think the ETF combined with the halving is a large part of that story.
Now, before I let you go, I have to ask you about the latest development with Uniswap. The DeFi platform announced in a blog post yesterday that the SEC had sent a letter warning of an impending lawsuit. So more enforcement action against a crypto company is expected here in the U.S. What do you make of this latest development, and what does it signal to the industry?
I would say that if you have a centralized pressure point, it will get pressed on. So the challenge that Uniswap faces is they're an incorporated corporation operating out of New York City with a CEO and,
well, that's the problem. Operating out of New York City, anything's going to get tagged there.
Shareholders and an equity structure. They're a company. And even if the protocol, the actual kind of protocol itself is separate from that company in some ways, there's somebody to sue. And the SEC is putting pressure there. Will they win? Will they not win? I mean, if I'm being honest, they haven't had the best track record in the last 2 years. They haven't really won too many things. He's
talking about the SEC, so
maybe they're unsuccessful here as well. But I think it just highlights the unique properties of Bitcoin, and that, there really is no centralized pressure point for Bitcoin. There's no one to sue. There's no CEO. There's no equity structure. And that's part of the reason Bitcoin got a spot ETF, is even the SEC wasn't able and didn't want to say it was a security. So if I'm an investor and I'm looking at this, I think there are further difficulties ahead for some of these crypto projects that are in the US and can easily be targeted. And I think it speaks to the value of Bitcoin.
Okay, that's all for...
He's not wrong. Shout out to CNBC Crypto World. All right, let's move on to the videos. I want to start off with Mr. Crypto Zombie over here. We're only going to watch a little bit of his video, but market's heating up. Altcoins for life-changing potential. 1000x. Full ape shit. Oh, that's a great title. All right, let's get on. I love the beginning of his videos, so let's see what this one's about. If it would play. There we go. By the way, this is how scamming works, okay? Like all throughout crypto, this happens. Sucks to be you. Thanks for the money. And he just leaves.
What's going on?
Oh, it's so funny. People are so stupid. Please don't fall for those things. Like, if anybody says they're going to send you double whatever you send, any of those ad videos, it's all bullshit. Please just, that's exactly how it works right there.
Guys, K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. A little bit of an impromptu video today, but I got to thinking about the markets and what's happening. We do have the halving coming up quite soon. And, you are starting to notice that shift in the narratives. You're starting to see the altcoins wake up, right? And we have been talking about Bitcoin for a year and a half on this channel, but there's a lot of opportunities right now in the crypto space, and there will continue to be more opportunities. So that's what I wanted to talk about. If we have a look at what Bitcoin is doing right now, it's still kind of consolidating. It's trying to break out of this pennant. There is a potential that we just go sideways into the halving. But speaking of the halving, so this is happening in about 7 days from now, and we were talking about this on my video with Kevin Svensson, which if you guys didn't check it out, I thought it was a really amazing video, had a great conversation with Kevin, and at one part towards the end, he starts talking about the altcoins, right? And basically what happens is you have these cycles. So he was explaining that, after we have the Bitcoin halving, the question is, what is the real narrative for Bitcoin after that? Now, obviously, Bitcoin's narrative speaks for itself. It's the hardest, soundest money on planet Earth. We know this. We've been talking about this for, 7 years on this channel, everyone who's been following. But what happens is once that narrative is kind of over, you still see Bitcoin rise. I'm not saying Bitcoin's not going to go up. I think Bitcoin's going to continue to go up, probably minimally, at least to the end of the year, you know, if we do have that shortened cycle like a lot of people think. But generally, it's right after the halving that you start to see the altcoins really wake up. And that is the time where you can find massive opportunities. Now, yes, there were people talking about altcoins all throughout the bear market. I mean, I guess if you dollar cost average at super crazy low levels through the whole bear market, maybe you're doing okay, but that's not really how I like to play it. And I'm going to actually give you my strategy as well. But as you can see, you know, he points out the similarities on the total 3. And you can see that when we were at this area, that's pretty much right where the altcoins started to take off, you know, and I had a very similar chart myself. You could see that when, you know, the Gaussian channel switched into the green and we have the RSI up around 100 on the market cipher. And we also have a very similar area, you know, around 25-ish on the money flow. That kind of puts us, you know, like, you know, right here. Kind of like right here, somewhere in this area, right?
Can you imagine if we were in that area? That'd be amazing.
And, you know, obviously, let's just say I'm just going to pick a number.
It's probably not wrong.
That went up about 700%. And that was for all of the altcoins in general, right? And you will see a lot of them out.
Altcoins are going to explode this run. Just my opinion.
Bitcoin
Obviously
in the short term. Okay, meaning like this cycle, right? But you definitely don't want to marry altcoins. You just don't want to do that.
No.
I mean, if you want to hold through a bear market, you can. But the problem is that a lot of the coins, and even ones that I may potentially be talking about, we don't know if they're going to be around. We don't know if they're going to survive this cycle, right? If you have
If you guys have a bunch of altcoins, like realistically, in the bull runs, you should dump them. That's just what you should do. I mean, if you want to hold them, that's fine. But like, you should dump them. And can we get to 100 likes, please? That'd be fantastic. We have 69 right now. Even though it's fine. We have 188 people here. Hit that like button, please. Appreciate you.
Altcoins, generally speaking, only a handful of those will actually survive to the next cycle, right? So you have to remember to take your profits. Obviously, the best strategy is if you double your money, you just take half back. And then that way,
very true,
you can have price targets, you can do what you want.
Well, that way you're playing with the house money, right?
At least you didn't lose your initial capital, right? And my goal has always been to accumulate more Bitcoin. So before we get into that, though, I do just want to mention my opinions on the Bitcoin chart right now. I believe that we're somewhere like we were back here, meeting with the previous all-time high with the top of the pi cycle, and that's where we are today. So obviously, once we broke that, you know, level right here, you know, you can see Bitcoin went up about 250%. So I don't know if we're going to go up 250%, but even if diminishing return says we only do half of that, then you should probably be looking for a Bitcoin around the $140,000 area, right? And what I think is just happening is we're retesting the area that I believe that we should have went last cycle. I believe that we should have been out here, you know, to the previous point, 4.236 area, which we've always covered. We've always blown through that, or at least touched it, and we didn't do it last cycle. So that's what I think is happening. We're having that consolidation. And, you know, if you zoom in here, you can see that, yes, there has been a lot of sell pressure from the downside, but that sell pressure seems to be pretty consistent with this Fibonacci extension, whereas the buying on these wicks to the red candles is showing that, you know, they're not letting the price get, like, for example, you know, back here in this week of March 4th, right? You had Bitcoin 59,000, right? Massive wick bought up, right? Then the next one.
Crypto KJ, thanks for being a member for 11 months, dude. Appreciate it. He said, give me $100 and I'll give you 500 likes back. Keep your likes, buddy.
Was 60,800 massive wick bought up. Then the next one was 64,000, right? So it seems like they're not letting the price go as low. This is technically a bullish constructive pattern and should suggest that, you know, potentially, yes, we could have corrections, but Bitcoin should theoretically continue to move to the upside. And I do think that after the halving, you know, I'm not saying it's going to go to the moon overnight, but I am saying that I think it should do quite well. So talking about the altcoins, and again, guys, I can't stress enough, do your own research, not financial advice. You know, I talk about things that I'm looking into. There's some people who offer paid groups and stuff. All my stuff is free. And if I am talking about something, it's because I am either allocating to it currently, or I'm planning on buying some at some point. These are, you know, they're not, you know, and I don't get paid to talk about any of this stuff. Like, I don't do sponsorships, nothing like that. So if I'm talking about it, it's because I am personally invested or will be investing in it. And yeah, they're not all going to be winners, right? But I do try my best. I mean, if I'm putting my money where my mouth is, then, you know, but I do like to try to stay away from the meme coins. So my strategy mostly, for those of you who don't know, I hold primarily Bitcoin. That's pretty much, I know it's boring, but for me, it's the safe bet, right? And, you know, if you want to just make, you know, maybe like a 5X or something, or, you know, some lower kind of thing like that, you know, you can buy the safe coins, right? You know, you can buy, if you want Dogecoin, you can buy Dogecoin, you could do Solana, BNB, Avalanche, Polkadot is probably going to do well this cycle, Polygon.
Oh, wow, he jumped over Cardano.
Link, you know, these are all like sort of the blue chips, right? So these are the safer plays. You're not going to make astronomical gains, but you'll probably make more than if you just held Bitcoin, possibly throughout the cycle. Most likely you will make more. It's not common, but I just don't really dabble in these personally. The things that I look for are really narratives, projects that, you know, there's not like just a hype project in general, but things that I think will do exceptionally well this cycle. And I try to position myself with small percentages of capital into these. I guess you'd call them a little bit more speculative. They're not as, you know, they're not as matured, I guess, as some of these coins like BNB and Solana and XRP and stuff like that.
All right, you know what? I'm going to stop him there. He's probably going to go through a whole bunch of coins, but I don't want to be shilling certain coins on the channel. So I'm going to let him do his thing. If you guys are interested in this video, it is linked down in the description below. We're going to move on to Altcoin Daily. I want to see, I have to catch up on 2 videos. The crypto market is in trouble. SEC versus Uniswap. I want to see what he has to say about this, because obviously that's a big deal for everybody. So let's get into it.
Breaking news. The SEC just declared war on crypto, with Uniswap, the largest decentralized exchange in existence, receiving notice. The SEC moves to sue Uniswap in a bid to hobble the fast-growing DeFi sector. This has been confirmed by founder Hayden Adams, stating, "Today, Uniswap Labs received a Wells notice from the SEC. I am not surprised, just annoyed, disappointed, and ready to fight." And how this affects you as a crypto investor, let's discuss. But just understand, looking at Bitcoin, that this dip happened before the news. Macro caused this, meaning the recent inflation data.
Consumer price index for the month of March 2024 coming in hotter than expected. That core rising 3.8% versus the 3.7% that was expected.
So March CPI inflation rate rises to 3.5%, above expectations of 3.4%, while core CPI inflation was 3.8%, above expectations of 3.7%. This is the 36th consecutive month with inflation above 3% and second straight monthly increase. And to me, what this says to me is these higher for longer interest rates clearly aren't working. This is supposed to be going down slightly, not up slightly, for 2 consecutive months. What happened to the Fed pivot?
Real quick, Mr. Solar Miner, thank you for the $10 super chat. He said, they collated and never allowed the Bitcoin from Grayscale to hit the market and coordinated the ETF buys from the houses. A future settlement will be coming. BTC should be way higher. Mr. Solar Miner, thank you for your 3rd super chat on a live stream, dude. I appreciate that.
Now, there's no denying that this firmer inflation print does put more pressure on policymakers to sustain likely a higher for longer type of monetary policy stance. So I think we're going to hear more and more concern around the onset of the easing cycle in June.
So as long as inflation is increasing, expect these rates to stay high. As long as these rates stay high, expect liquidity out of the market, which is typically bad for risk assets. Let's talk about the Uniswap news, but just remember from our recent Mark Yusko interview,
the Fed, with respect to rates, is reactive.
The biggest Bitcoin bull run in history has begun.
Right? They're not proactive.
The Fed is not a market predictor. They're actually more reactionary.
So they react to the economy, both positively and negatively. So when the economy's ripping and inflation's starting to turn up and growth is high, they'll start to rein back in the liquidity. They'll raise rates and try to slow down the car so it doesn't careen off the edge. And inevitably, that's when they break things because they go too far.
And with the Bitcoin halving upon us, and with BlackRock and the Bitcoin ETFs continuing to buy Bitcoin, suck Bitcoin off exchanges.
Yeah, so I think throughout the cycle, so over the next 18 to 24 months, we top 200,000. I think
200,000.
Yes.
Wait, there's a lot of people. I don't mean to single you out, but you pick a very high headline number, and that makes the headline, and everybody looks at you Oh, you really think it's going to be 200,000?
Well, sort of based on
What is up with this potato camera that's like glitching?
Historical trading patterns. So what's happening is all the Bitcoin miners, those that process transactions, their reward for processing those transactions is going to get cut in half in a few weeks. Okay, every single halving cycle, which is what it's called when this happens, has led to a triple of the previous cycle high. That previous cycle is about 67,000. Previous cycle high that we saw in 2021. So that puts us right at about 200,000 at the end of this cycle. And like now, with the U.S. government creating $1 trillion in new debt every 100 days. Okay, the invention of the ETFs, making it much easier for many investors to own Bitcoin versus owning a cryptocurrency wallet. We've seen a fundamental change. So I would say 200,000 is relatively conservative.
Now, of course, could that bullish Bitcoin projection be thrown off with this Uniswap news? This one's a big one, folks. Massive escalation by the SEC and White House. Uniswap is a poster child for crypto decentralization. Instead of celebrating Hayden Adams, the founder, as a generational entrepreneur, they're taking him to court. A war on crypto is a war on the internet.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought this would have happened sooner though. Just being real. I feel like Uniswap would have got hit sooner than this.
And just so you know, this was the official statement put out on Twitter. Today, Uniswap Labs received a Wells notice from the SEC, and we're ready to fight. This is the latest political effort to target even the best actors in crypto, like Uniswap and Coinbase. All Uniswap products and the Uniswap protocol are unaffected. And this is important. That's actually a great note, because while Uniswap, the protocol, that's decentralized. Even if the United States bans it, that means nothing really with a decentralized protocol. Although Uniswap Labs, the company, the founding company behind the protocol, they can be sued, and really that just affects the front end, the UI, the UX, right? Somebody owns this URL. This just...
Real quick, Alvidus said it's easier to go to an ETF than own a crypto wallet, ... Yeah, I mean, realistically, that is true. It is true. It's not, or like people are stupid, man. They don't want to take the risk or the initiative to figure out how to, store a seed phrase and all this other stuff, right? I mean, yes, there's easier options now, but the ETF to some people is just like less of a risk for whatever reason. I don't know.
Just makes it easy to use, but really anybody could use the underlying protocol, make their own front end, meaning if one is taken down, 100 more could technically pop up the next day. And in a direct quote from Hayden Adams, their CEO, "I am confident that the products we offer are legal and that our work is on the right side of history. But it's been clear for a while that rather than working to create clear, informed rules, the SEC has decided to focus on attacking longtime good actors like Uniswap and Coinbase, all while letting bad actors like FTX slip by."
That's a good point too, actually. Black Hat Team said less effort. Yeah, it takes less effort, and it's just easier for people just to allow somebody else to hold their money. You know what I mean? I don't know, they're lazy, basically.
The team at Uniswap has been working from their offices in New York City this whole time. This fight will take years, may go all the way to the Supreme Court, and the future of financial technology and our industry hangs in the balance. If we stand together, we can win. I think freedom is worth fighting for. I think DeFi is worth fighting for. I put this out on Twitter as soon as it happened. By the way, subscribe to us, follow us, link down below. But a Wells notice is not technically a lawsuit, but this is a typical step right before a lawsuit.
It's usually the first step to try to extort money out of them, and then they'll sue them after they get the money.
And this is like the SEC suing the NASDAQ and expecting tech stock trading to continue in the United States. It wouldn't. It would all get pushed offshore. So this by no means would kill crypto in any sense. It would not. This would just set the United States back from a technical innovation aspect decades. I am watching this closely, more updates to follow. Looking at altcoin news, VeChain makes major announcement on new product launch. As a reminder, VeChain is one of the leaders in supply chain management on the blockchain, adding transparency to supply chain management. And as of yesterday, VeChain has announced the launch of MAAS, a no-code white label marketplace to tempt Web3 and blockchain users. This was the exact announcement. Trading tokenized assets on the blockchain has never been easier. Deploy any real-world asset on-chain in a developer-friendly environment and benefit from an onboarding process that makes attracting users stress-free. So MAAS stands for Marketplace as a Service, and in a direct quote from VeChain, they say, "This product was built to fulfill an important role within the digital asset space, presenting enterprise and individual builders a low/no-code white label NFT platform for selling and transferring digital assets with ease." Also making news is Xverse. Xverse lands $3 million in private round to bring Web3's Call of Duty to life. So if you believe in crypto gaming, if you're bullish on the immutable blockchain, as this is launching off of that, it's backed by key incubators and launch pads, including KuCoin Labs, Seedify, which is big, Epic Games, and ChainGPT. We are also early investors in this game. We'll always share that with you. And the gameplay looks awesome. Very Call of Duty, very Web 2 in a great way. And what I think is cool is that this is built with Epic's Unreal Engine 5. So looks-wise, I like it. And it is a free-to-play game bringing a fresh take on AAA, as this is, first-person shooters to Web 3. Again, this is a bet on crypto gaming. This is a bet on the immutable ecosystem, which I'm bullish on. And in a direct quote from their CEO on what makes them different, "We see ourselves as pioneers in the gaming industry because we've built..."
Is he shilling this? I have no idea. I haven't been listening. These kids are killing me.
"A AAA quality classic first-person shooter with Web3 elements," meaning this is built for the masses, meaning you don't need to understand crypto to be able to start playing. "Our hybrid approach is the result of our understanding that for NFT or blockchain games to succeed post-bull market, they need to appeal to gamers in the same way as beloved titles like Call of Duty, Halo, and Counter-Strike have. Anybody looking to check it out, play the game, calling all gamers, outscore your opponents, which is an L1.
God, shut up. Trying to get over that. I think I was a whole shill. I apologize, guys. I have no idea.
Artificial intelligence engineers as part of their AI roadmap. So this is very interesting. Some of you remember their co-founder was on a panel at NVIDIA's conference titled Transforming AI last month. Now the chain is gearing up to go full on AI, and the L1 says it believes it is uniquely positioned to make AI open source, given its not-for-profit and decentralized nature. So that's their differentiator. And the company also said that the growth of revenue incentives will always take over at for-profit companies, whereas at Near, its token economy will create value in an open, permissionless ecosystem. So maybe Near will be the L1 for AI, we'll see. And looking into the Blast ecosystem, Blast, which is an Ethereum L2, Easy, which is a project building on Blast, is a gamified marketplace and liquidity solution for digital assets that provides additional trading volume and lowers cost barrier for entering the market. Starting tomorrow, Easy will be trading on Bybit, KuCoin, and Gate. And again, I'm also an investor.
Oh, fuck off. All right, there we go. Moving on. Let's see. Bitcoin is about to blow past 100K less than 10 days. I doubt it in less than 10 days. But let's see what he's got to say over here on this other video. Hopefully there's not many shills. Let's do it.
Bitcoin is coiling up, consolidating at all-time highs. When this thing blows, this thing's going to blow hard. 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. And once Bitcoin gets to that magical number of $100,000, all bets are off. This thing is going to go wild. There will be dips along the way, of course, but you need to understand a perfect storm is lining up for Bitcoin.
It's actually in 7 days, not 9.
Once this thing blows, there'll be no stopping it. Again, there will be dips and corrections, of course. But understand this, Bitcoin is still playing out similarly to the 2020 all-time high breakout. Right here, this is us today. Higher lows, pushing into all-time highs. I don't think bears will be able to withstand another test of $70,000. Send it higher. Study history. Something like this is going to happen. That's my belief. Historically, Bitcoin always pumps after the halving. First halving, 8,000%. Second halving, 3,000%. Third halving, 800%. So this cycle, if you believe that Bitcoin each cycle sees diminishing returns, this cycle we should get 400% increase. But even if we only get a 200% pump, it will already put Bitcoin well above $200,000. So supply
Yeah,
is
that's a bit more realistic. I don't think it's going to be too crazy.
about to be cut in half. Virtually every major bank and financial institution is advertising Bitcoin halving coming up. Buy Bitcoin through us. You need to buy Bitcoin. We've seen BlackRock's commercials. We've seen Fidelity's commercials. Here's another one, guys. 100 billion TD Bank. This is America's most convenient bank. 100 billion assets under management just dropped a Bitcoin commercial about the halving. It is amazing that banks and financial institutions are starting to advertise this right now. They have huge budgets to advertise this, and they're all doing it.
In early 2024, Bitcoin's price reached new all-time highs. But what's the cause? Well, Bitcoin's price is determined by demand and supply, just like a stock. If there's more demand from buyers than supply from sellers, the price goes up. But if the opposite is true, the price goes down. And recently, the new US spot Bitcoin ETFs have increased demand significantly, but there hasn't been a significant increase in supply. In fact, there's another event happening in April of 2024 that will reduce the supply of new Bitcoin entering the market. It's called Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin was designed so only 21 million coins can be created. But instead of flooding the market with all the coins at once, a supply of new coins is slowly released into the market every day. As the name suggests, halving cuts the supply of new coins in half roughly every 4 years. This will continue until around May of 2140, when all 21 million Bitcoin will be on the open market. So how has the price of Bitcoin behaved after the previous halving events? Well, following each
Mo2 says, thank God for the teeter-totter diagram. I need visuals.
halving, prices climbed up significantly. Although history suggests that Bitcoin's price is ready for more new highs in 2024, it's not a guarantee. There are other factors that could greatly impact demand and supply, which ultimately determine Bitcoin's price. For more information about investing in Bitcoin with TD through ETFs, watch our video. And to open an account online with TD Direct Investing, click the link in the description.
Does anybody use TD? Interesting.
So guess what we're seeing? SEC filings show that US banks are buying Bitcoin.
Of course they are, because they just they passed something saying that they could buy it now.
US banks are finally starting to get off zero when it comes to Bitcoin. We're just seeing all of these giants just go crazy with their advertising.
And what do you think's going to happen once people start, or all these banks start buying up Bitcoin? It's literally like, we only have, what, again, 7 days left until, or 8 days almost, until the, the halving, where it's really going to be much more scarce, and there's going to be no Bitcoin available.
BlackRock launches a massive Bitcoin ETF campaign. Here you can see this on the top of the Bloomberg terminal homepage. IBIT, which is their ETF, took $15 billion worth of Bitcoin in 3 months. They want more. This is BlackRock's head of active ETFs, so he knows what's going on. And here he articulates why so many are now interested in buying Bitcoin. He says a whole group of investors are now thinking about Bitcoin for the first time because of these spot Bitcoin ETFs. Listen.
It goes back to investor interest, that investors have been saying for years that we want an ETF that is providing exposure to Bitcoin. They liked the asset, but they wanted a better vehicle to get exposure to it. And just like it's incredibly easy to get exposure to 500 stocks in the S&P 500 through IVV, or to get bond exposure through AG, people want that type of easy vehicle for Bitcoin. So this is a huge step forward for investors getting that easy access. But also a lot of investors for the first time can now consider Bitcoin. It just wasn't available to a lot of investors who could only buy things that are traded on exchanges like ETFs. And so now you see a whole group of investors who are thinking about this asset for the first time.
You're also seeing 70 different mutual funds saying, you know what? I would like to switch to an ETF, because an ETF is like a mutual fund, only it trades like a stock. You can move it as many times as you want during the day.
Let's go over some of this demand data. So, of course,
as many times as you want until the price in the market actually moves like 20%, and then they shut it off on you, and you can't move it for shit.
The big one is the ETFs. We've been keeping you informed on these since the very beginning. You can see, although it's reached a little bit of a plateau, the trend can pretty much only go up. We're so early on these things. This chart shows the number of Bitcoin the spot Bitcoin ETFs hold. The new Bitcoin ETFs, so not including Grayscale, purchased nearly 525,000 Bitcoin, worth $37 billion in just 62 trading days, in just 2 months. It's not just BlackRock and Grayscale and the ETFs that are holding Bitcoin. Of course, that's a large part of it. It's also miners. It's also different corporations like MicroStrategy. And of course, nation states. We know about El Salvador. They're a small country that's really furthering themselves by taking a risk on Bitcoin. They're really the only big country that bought or mined the Bitcoin themselves, as the biggest nation states that hold Bitcoin confiscated it or seized it. Yet, they have skin in the game. US has skin in the game, China has skin in the game, UK, Germany, Ukraine. And of course, private individuals like us continue to dollar cost average. Of course, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Yesterday, we reported to you what's happening with the SEC's latest action against Uniswap. And we and this whole industry are going to continue to fight Gary Gensler. Remember, Gary. First they came for Binance to protect us. Next, they came for Coinbase to protect us. Now they're coming for Uniswap to protect us. Yet they missed FTX, Celsius, and 3 Arrow Capital. All on Gary.
That's actually kind of funny. Shout out to Mr. Vinny. Thank you so much for the $1.99. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Damn it. I'll give you a clap anyways. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Said how many Bitcoin actually going to exist? 18 million. So technically still 21 million, right? But the amount of Bitcoin that has been lost forever from old hard drives, people not giving a shit basically back in the day when they mined it. So they say technically around 5 to 7 million lost. Who knows how true that is? I mean, so realistically, maybe 18 million, yeah, could be like the magic number, right? That actually will be found, but who knows? I mean, realistically, but yeah, supposed to be 21 million.
Please watch.
The biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion.
No, this is the best.
Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met it with FTX at least twice. And arguably, the second biggest crypto failure in history was Terra Luna. Who was the chairman of the SEC when Terra Luna collapsed, sir?
We had brought...
You were, sir, reclaiming my time. You were. Does it concern you that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
Trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws.
You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans.
So, we're in for a
Mr. Emmer ripped him a new one during that meeting, and it was perfect.
Very interesting rest of the year, to say the least. I remain bullish on Bitcoin, certainly up until the presidential election, certainly for the next 6 to 9 to 11 months. To me, the bull case is obvious. And if we do get to these higher levels, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves post-presidential election and into 2025, at that point, all bets are off, in my opinion. At that point, we're going to have to question how much higher does this cycle go. Of course, if any of us knew the future, we'd all be rich. My name is Aaron.
Facts. Well, shout out to Altcoin Daily for that. All right, let's move on and see. Let's recap things. See what we're looking like over here. Bitcoin 70,442. Looks like it dropped 0.74%. Ethereum down 2%. At 34.95, not looking too bad. Solana's taking a little bit of a hit down. I guess their network's still pretty congested. It's got a cold or something, not sure. 169 bucks. LTC $96. Caspa 14.2. Not too bad. We have Dogecoin at 19 cents. Everything's looking pretty good. What's the biggest earner? Let's go to the week. Looks to be CKB kicking ass. Looks like it's up a lot on the week to almost 3 cents, 73%. Again, ENA, Athena, up 53.6% on the week. Just trying to recap things. Jasmy is up 20.6%, if anybody's into that. I actually bought some on Coinbase not too long ago. Neo, 53.1% up on the week, 22.37 cents. We have Vet, it's VeChain, up 22.7. Everything's looking pretty good. Toncoin, again, 36% up, $7. I still can't believe it is that big of a market cap. It's crazy. Caspa, up 10.9% on the week, 14.2. Everything's looking pretty good, guys. Everything's looking pretty good. HNTs. Anybody still into helium? $6.10. It's kind of surprising, but not for me. Not for me. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. All right, let's check out a few other coins. How's Lithium doing? Lithium, wow. Down 11.7%. Let's see. It's still pretty high though, guys. It's still doing well. I think these ASICs are gonna I don't know, it's either gonna really do well for the coin or really do bad. I guess we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. What do you guys think? Time to sell? Get rid of it? Dan R says Helium Mobile. Helium Mobile down 4.52% today, or 4.6 it says here. It's weird. It's 0.2 of a penny, almost 0.3. Let's see. Nice. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All things helium I'm just not interested in, to be honest. I don't even care how much money they make. They just dick us around too much. I can't do it. I can't be one of those guys that like flip-flops and goes back to it. It's not for me. Let's see. Yeah, it sucked day today. It rained. We lost power last night too. This pocket change, if you didn't know, the generator was running. All right, let's see. Trending coins. Gala seems to be one of the trending. We have 10 set. I don't know what that is. Or Nisa Global. Don't know what that is either. $1.46. The following token has a variable tax function on the smart contracts to change the tax rates post-deployment. Do your own research and be careful if you are trading this token. Well, that's concerning. Weird. Very, very strange. Very strange. It's down 77.4%, almost 3 years. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Sand actually is one of those coins that oops, gaps. One of these coins that I just purchased as well over on Coinbase. Let's see. In the last bull run, 2021, where it was around, it did have a pump, so I'm expecting a decent pump on this one as well. Thanks to Mr. Dan R. Put this one on my map. I think this might be a good play. I guess we'll have to see, but it was up to $8.40, down 92%. 60 cents or 59 cents basically, so looks pretty good. Let's see. What else do you guys want to look at? What do you guys think? Uniswap again has been doing obviously a lot of uncertainty right now, right? We're gonna see it pull back quite a bit, but this is what it is. $8.77, down 5.6%, obviously with all this BS going on in the space. Its all-time high was $44, though, almost 45 bucks. Damn. And that was during the last bull run, so I guess we'll have to see what happens during this one. That's crazy. That is crazy. Any of the YouTuber miners getting an AL box to review? And Eric cards, I'm waiting to hear. I might get it at some point to review and then send it off to somebody else, but I will keep you posted. I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to see. But the AL box, like I said, is it's one of those things that in my situation, somebody with a high electric rate, this is a sick miner to own. But for $15,000, eat a dick. That's pretty much my comment there. I'm not paying 15 grand for anything that's gonna make $100 and then just completely tank in profits, because there's no way it's gonna hold up. There's no way it's gonna hold up over $100 for that little box miner. That's just my opinion. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Hawk, what are you doing? Charles Harris, you don't know who Hawk is? You don't have his thing? Yeah, no, I won't put my money into that. That's crazy. I would just buy the coin. Like, why are you gonna spend 15 grand on an ASIC when you could just buy the coin if you think it's gonna do well? I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot for me. I wouldn't do that, to my opinion. But hey, to each his own. Some people are different. You know what I mean? Some people are different. It will be $500 in 2 months. Yeah, Crypto KJ. I mean, guys, listen, right? Oh, what the hell? Oh my God. Why did that scroll so fast? What the hell? Where is the KS0? All right, let's look real quick before we get out of here. KS0, where are you? Where are you? Right here. Ice River KS0. 51 cents a day. This thing was making 30 a day. It was probably more than that. But I made a video when I got this thing, it was making $30 a day. And I got it like 2 months late. I think it was more than that before that. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So I have a feeling the same thing's gonna happen with the AL box. This is my opinion. You guys do what you will. I wouldn't spend no 15K on a little box miner. Hell no. Hell no. It's too much. It's way too much. Like, look, let's go to Ice River real quick, right? Ice River. Let's see. All right, look at this thing. It's 349 bucks now. This thing was going for $2,000 when it first came out. And this is the pro version. That wasn't even the original version. This is the pro version. They don't even sell the OG anymore. This is the 200 gigahash unit. The 100 gigahash unit was going for $2,000. I love this miner. Okay, I have 10 of them here at my house. Okay, I'm running them because they're super easy to run at my house. And I think Caspa is going to do extremely well. And the only reason I think Caspa is going to do extremely well is, I mean, obviously all the development behind it, but the fact that all of these miners have held top of the charts for over 6 months at this point, it's kind of a tall tale sign that this thing's going to carry itself just fine. It's, you know what I mean? Like we saw with the KA3 when that came out, right? The Cadena miner. That shit tanked. It tanked. Where is it even now on the list? I'm just gonna type it in. Hold on. KA3. It's making $4 a day. It's making $4 a day. This thing was making hundreds of dollars a day. Hundreds. This went for like, what? How much did this go for when it came out? Like 30 grand or something crazy? Wasn't that some insane number? So I mean, I don't know. Like we need Lithium to do well. We need it to hold its position, you know. And I don't know. It really depends. It's such a shot, but like, listen, if you can get in on it early, then yeah, you can, I guess, payback time in 4.5 months or so. But like, that's if it still makes $100 a day for that entire 4.5 months, which I can guarantee you it's not going to. There's no chance. No chance. You thought it was 50K? It might have been. I don't remember, to be honest. It might have been, man. That's crazy. I don't know. I don't know. You guys do what you want. Just be careful, man. Please be careful, because shit can go sideways real quick. All right, just being real. Oh, actually, hold on. What's that? Isn't that Donk coin getting released today too? Man, I forget. What's it called? The Donk. They have a pre-sale, and I forget. I mentioned it a while ago. I don't know. I put like $100 in it, so I'm gonna see if it gets dropped into my wallet today. Let's see. I don't even know. I don't even know the site. If anybody knows the site, throw it in the chat. I have no idea. Anyways, all right, guys, I gotta get out of here. It's time for daddy duty. Y'all know the drill. It is Friday. I appreciate you all for hanging out. I appreciate you for hanging out on the daily grind, and we're going to leave you guys with this. Let me get this going. We're gonna raid Miss Randy Hipper shortly after, so stay tuned. I'll shoot you guys right over there. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. I'm gonna try to go at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time because I'm actually having my daughter's birthday party tomorrow. So yeah, might be a bit early, but either way, between 8 or 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Until then, peace out and have a good day. Catch you guys soon.
To the moon on my Lambo or my Rolls Royce. Now I got these altcoins. They don't make the big noise, but they make the big rips. Call me crypto cowboy. Now I got my money on the blockchain. Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. Can't nobody stop my campaign. Hodl gang, hodl gang, hodl gang. Yeah, wish I could roll back time to that old Silk Road. I wanna hodl till I can't no more. I'm gonna add crypto to my portfolio. I wanna hodl till I can't no more. Backyard garage, solar powered area. Spend a lot of money trying to mine that Ethereum. Boy, I got a habit, I'ma bounce right back. And I'm addicted, I become a crypto maniac. You see, I got no stocks and I got no gold. I'm all in, all I do is I buy crypto. Wish I could roll back back time to that old Silk Road. I wanna hodl till I can't no more. I wish I could roll back time to that old Silk Road. I wanna hodl till I can't no more. I'm gonna add crypto to my portfolio. I wanna hodl till I can't no more.
Happy Friday. We're going to raid Miss Randy Hipper. Have a good day. And don't spend all your paycheck in one place. If you do, spend it on Bitcoin. Peace, peace.
Eat shit.